I am heading off to Finders Keepers Cafe and Hawthorn Library, and that's it for today. My energy levels are low, but this is going to be the last beautifully sunny day this week. It's just rain and storms, so I thought, Chanel, get out there, go and soak up the sunshine while you can. My ex-boyfriend's here doing the garden, so I will pop in to check on that. We're planting some more wildflowers to try and really get that meadow going. But besides that, I'm probably going to just lay in the sun, because that is one of my favorite ever things to do on earth, is to lie in the sun and feel it on my skin. So I'll catch you guys later. Okay, so I am back. Finders Keepers was lovely in terms of the aesthetic. The food was good, so the cappuccino I'd probably give an 8 out of 10. And the garden goodness bowl was very healthy tasting. I felt like it just needed a little bit of a dressing. I know it had the hummus to moisten it, but I felt like I could have done with a bit of something else just to bring it all together. But otherwise, I'd probably give that a 7.5 out of 10. And I also took away a vegan chocolate cake with cherries. It was nice. It was a bit dry. For what it was nice. Then I popped into Hawthorn Library and I grabbed this book. I was on the wait list for this as well. So when I saw it on the most wanted, I thought, sweet, I'm just jumping the queue with all of these books. So this will be on my to-read list. But that's everything today. I'm just going to sunbake and cook myself from the outside in. I just love feeling warm. I just want that lingering heat to carry me through the rest of my day. I'll see you at my next adventure. Hello, good morning. Yes, I have cut off my hair. I think it's cute. I know my kids don't, but I think it's cute. I had to cut it. My hair was just falling out in masses. It was thinning out to the point where just having it long was not a vibe anymore. And until my hair can replenish itself, I've got to give the illusion of thickness and fullness, and I think a bob does that. It's still a bit wet, so it's still a bit frizzy and stuff. But normally when it dries, my natural waves come out and I actually like that. So anyway, today I am going to go and get my car washed, because on the way to Nova's surgery yesterday, she did do a little bit of wee in the car. So I've got to get that dealt with. So Nova's surgery did go well. They ended up having to remove all of her teeth because they believe that she has an autoimmune condition that is triggered by plaque. So it attacks her gums, it attacks her throat. Her whole mouth was ulcerated and raw and infected. So they believe by removing all of her teeth, there is no plaque, therefore it won't trigger her autoimmune condition. That is what they've told me anyway. So it was a bit full on. I'm having to give her 6 syringes in her mouth. Pray for me. I'm probably going to just be ribbons of flesh by the end of it. But she's still a bit wonky from the anesthetic and she's a little bit out of it. So we're giving her as much love as we can. Besides that, I'll probably head to the library, grab some more books to read. But yeah, just on the agenda today is pretty much just cafe, car wash, books, and take care of Nova. There's Nova. in the background. So the cafe was pretty average. We wouldn't return there. The food did come out very quickly though, so props for service. And we also popped into a American candy store and the kids picked some things, but that's everything that we did today. Good morning, guys. I am exhausted today. For the last 2 weeks, I have had possums in my roof, scratching from 5 a.m. in the morning. And I think I do need to call someone to come and collect them and find them a new home. So in Australia, I think you have to actually relocate them to a possum house nearby. I don't know what the procedure is, but I was hoping that they would just chill and we could live in symbiosis. But 5 a.m., guys, it's too early. The sun isn't even up yet. So I'm like, guys, if you could just put an alarm clock until 7, we could be fine. But they're just not hopping on board. So today I'm heading off to a shopping mall with my daughter B and one of her friends. I have to follow them at a distance. I have to be a bit of a lurker, not within hearing distance. So I'm going to just listen to an audiobook whilst I'm there, trailing behind for a few hours. Fun. But, I just don't feel comfortable enough letting my 12-year-old with just her and her friend in a shopping centre. I'm a bit of a helicopter mum that way. I just, peace of mind, I'm like, oh, if my daughter's safe and sound, because I can see she's safe and sound, I can rest easy. So that's what I will be doing today. If I grab any goodies, I'll do a little show and tell. I tend to make all of my purchases in January or July. Those are the two biggest sale seasons in Australia. So I tend to save anything that's not necessary for those days. So I have bought, like you've seen, some new mama sun, papa sun chairs, and I bought a pair of sunnies, and I bought a few things already that I've been keeping my eye on and waiting until they were on sale. So I'll have a little look around and I might treat myself to something today, even if it's just maybe a little chocolate from Cocoa Black. Bloody love truffles. I love little chocolates filled with ganache. It's just my favorite thing. But I'll touch base. Okay, so I'm back. Right before I left, I got some earrings in the mail. So these are supposed to be dogwood flower earrings. So they came just as I was leaving, so I thought I'd put them on. They're from Etsy, from the shopping centre. I only got myself one thing because I'm going back again next week with my daughter. So I just got some pajamas. So these are just slinky pajamas, and I bought a card for a friend, but there's a few things that I've bookmarked to return to. And food-wise, I ended up getting a tiramisu latte from Starbucks, decaf, with oat milk. It was actually good. So I did enjoy that. I probably would get again, but it's quite sweet. I find Starbucks's coffee's quite sweet. Good morning, guys. So my lovely possum friends have decided to start having parties at midnight as well. They're like, why cause a ruckus at 5 a.m. when we can do it at midnight as well? So I am a bit worse for wear. My voice is a bit hoarse. I'm flaring up a little bit because of the lack of sleep. But my kids are off to their fathers today, so I want to go out in case tomorrow I will not be able to get out of bed. So I'm going to go and hit up a cafe called Hello Sailor that I've just driven past. When you drive past those cafes and they've got like maybe art murals or something catching, and you keep thinking, oh, I should remember to like check that out. I'm finally doing that. This place has been like on my radar for ages and I just haven't intentionally gone, but I'm going to do that today. And then I'm going to go for a little walk around the neighborhood. I don't normally do that because I'm someone that does not want to make spontaneous purchases. I very much like to plan and research what I'm going to buy to make sure that's definitely something I want to spend my money on. So just walking into stores is it's a bit uncharted territory for me. And I'm like, oh, Chanel, I'm giving myself permission to purchase one thing if it catches my eye, but at the same time, I'm like, maybe sit on it and return. Think about it, ponder on it a little bit and think, do I really want to add this to my life or not? But I'm just going to see in case there's any hidden gems around that area. Speaking of purchases, I just purchased this card deck. So I was on Pinterest and I was seeing all these beautiful pieces of art as playing cards, but there was nothing there telling me where it was from. And I don't know why I didn't think of using Google search image search, but Baby from Pure Red Velvet did, and she is brilliant. And lo and behold, literally just last week I found these images on Pinterest. She did a recent acquisitions video, and at the end of it was this deck of cards. And I'm like, oh, you absolute angel. Thank you for finding it and telling me what it is so I can get my hands on it. I'm not a playing card person. I do play games with my kids, card games with my kids, but I just buy sort of cheaper decks because they get wrecked. Like when you're just playing card games, they're going to get wrecked, especially if you're playing Snap. So I've never thought to have a fancy one, but the art in this, stunning. So as soon as Bibi found it, I'm like, yes, purchase immediately, no hesitation. She found it on UK eBay, and that's also where I found the cheapest option for it. So I'm so excited to get that in because really it's beautiful. Am I going to play with it? No, I'm not. I'm just going to look at it and then put it away because it's probably one of the only decks I purchased just for the sake of collecting it because I really appreciate the art. So because I've just bought that and it was pricey, the UK dollar just really takes advantage of the Australian dollar. Let's just put it that way. And it's, yeah, it hurt a little bit, but I had all of the art pinned on my Pinterest page, so I was besotted with it. Because I've made that purchase, I'm really trying not to buy anything today, but you know, if something speaks to my heart, I've got to go where your heart leads you. But that's everything I have on the agenda today, besides just doing some reading and some crocheting. I did recently crochet a top and I didn't like it. I don't know. Most of the things that I crochet to wear, I'm unhappy with. I don't think it's because I have a very amateur level of crocheting skills. I've only been doing it for about a year and a half. And so I don't like to wear poorly made clothing, even if it's me who's made it. So I've got all of this cotton yarn and I've made some coasters and I'm not sure what else to make with it. So if anyone can give me some ideas of what I can do, I've obviously tried to make it into tops and cardigans and jumpers, but yeah, I don't enjoy crocheting clothing, but I'd like to find a use for it besides a coaster and not a tea towel. It's expensive cotton yarn. I don't want to make an incredibly expensive tea towel. That would break my heart. But so if anyone's got any ideas of what you can crochet with very colorful cotton, so I can't do amigurumi or anything like that because it's just variegated rainbow colored yarn. But yeah, if anyone's got some ideas, do let me know. I guess I could make some bags, but I'm not sure how cotton would fare as a taro bag. It just hasn't got that softness or stretch that the wool does. But I'll touch base with you guys once I've come back. Okay, so I am back. Hello Sailor was very lovely. Like the atmosphere was nice. The service was very fast. It was dead, which was very surprising for a Saturday morning. So I guess it's not very busy. Before I go to cafes, I normally look at the menu online. I just like to decide at home what I'm going to eat when I get there. And I went there thinking that I was going to get a garden goodness bowl. But when I went there, it wasn't on the menu. So that threw me for a bit of a loop. I ended up getting the beef Benedict, which was nice, but it was just very heavy. And that was just, I think, a wrong order on my behalf. The cappuccino was delicious though, so that was good coffee. And I also got this gingerbread man to take home because I have to have something sweet. We'll see if it's good. It's crunchy. I'm not a fan of crunchy gingerbread. I prefer very soft, cakey gingerbread, so that's a no from me. But I would go back to that cafe. It was in a great little section of shops. So I went into an op shop and then a clothing store, and I did try on some of the dresses, but I just felt like the fit wasn't quite right, even though I love the aesthetic of that particular shop. But then I spied with my little eye across the street a shop called Twitch's Emporium, I think it was, with this big eye on the front door. And I'm like, what is that? And I went over and I looked in the window and I died. I died at the kitschness and eclecticness of it, but it was closed. They don't reopen until next week, but you bet your ass I'm going to be hot trotting my patootie over there the second it opens, because just from my little peering through the window, there was so much stuff that caught my eye. And I'm like, that's amazing. That's amazing. What's that? What's that? What's that? I feel like the turtle guy from Moana. Ooh, shiny. I can't wait to go back. So I will take you along with me when I go back into that store, and I'm just going to have a field day in there, I can tell. So the second it opens back up, I'm going there. I also went to go to this cake shop, but no one came out. So I was standing there for a few minutes and no one came out. So I thought, all right, I'm just going to go home because I had to meet my kids back here to pick up some things that they had forgotten. I'll see you guys the next time I head out. Okay, so if any of you have watched my channel, you will know that the last 3 years of my life have been full of upheaval and deaths and breakups and divorces and horrible, horrible illness. Not a great time. And I decided that this year was going to be different. I did not want to repeat any of the energies of the past 3 years. And I thought, well, if the year's going to be different, then I have to be different. I have to make different choices and do things that I won't normally do. So one of these things is to push myself outside of my comfort zone. So my comfort zone is, as an introverted homebody, staying in my house and not leaving or interacting with any human beings whatsoever. I like a very quiet, simple, boring life, I guess. And I think that's just to counterbalance all of the stress these external influences exert upon me. So that's what I've always done. But I've come to the realization that there's always going to be illness, death, loss, grief. It's always going to happen. So I am making myself leave my cave. I've decided that I'm actually going to participate in life and open myself up to new experiences and new people and new energy. And that because I am single, because my friends are not always available, that means most of the time I am going to have to do these things on my own, as terrifying as that is. And I'm doing one of those things today. So today there is a Latin summer festival happening in the CBD. Even though I have Hispanic roots, I really vibe with the Latin culture. I love it. I love the music and the food. And so this is basically just a big free concert in the park with a lot of food trucks. It's all day and into the evening. I'm going in the afternoon because that's when my energy is high. So I'm catering to my strengths at this moment, even though I think it would definitely be a vibe at night. But I'm hoping still to get my groove on, to have a little dance and to eat some great food. I might also hit up some of the galleries that are close by. It depends how much energy I have and what the scene is like. I'll take a few clips, but I'm mostly hoping just to be present and immerse myself in it and overcome the awkwardness of being there solo, understanding that no one else is really thinking about me. Everything that's going on in my head is in my own head and everybody else is just thinking about themselves and doing their own thing. So I'm bringing a book with me though that is like a safety blanket for me. If I bring something to read, I can just, if I'm feeling too overstimulated by what's going on around me, I can just disappear into my book and then it doesn't matter where I am because I'm in the novel. So I am bringing that just in case I need to use it as a crutch. But I am trying to just go with a positive, open energy. I'm doing my stuff. So I think it's just, I'll be fine once I get there. So let's go dance, let's go eat, let's go be merry. So this is the Ian Potter Museum of Art. It's located in Fed Square. Apologies for Bluebell in the background. My brother took her outside and now she cries at the door to be let out. She is an indoor cat only. So in this gallery, it is quiet. It's definitely one of the less popular galleries, but it has such a great breadth of art. So I highly recommend visiting. This was my favorite piece of the exhibition. I think it was called The Siren. Very moody and evocative, but there's quite a broad array selection of art. So it's not just one style, but like I said, it is definitely far quieter, than the NGV, which is further down the road, but it's still free, still on multiple levels. There's plenty of art to see, so I highly recommend. So this is the street, and we've got the Forum, which is a classic and a historical building. There's a tram. Then we've got Fed Square, so there are normally lots of events, free events on in this square, and it's right next to the Yarra, which is a river that you should not swim in. Then you've got Flinders Street Station, which is quite iconic, and the Flower Clock. This is the Latin Summer Festival. So I expected this to be more of a concert with a lot of dancing, but it was basically just a bunch of food trucks and a few little craft and art stalls. It was mostly families and couples having a picnic and some food to eat. This was the entire music section. It was just a very, very small dance floor. So it wasn't quite the bop I was expecting. That is a beef empanada I got as a snack. This is an arts and crafts market that is near the galleries, and this was the protest that I joined. After that, I went to the State Library of Victoria. It is the largest library in Victoria. It is over 6 levels and has multiple wings. I, at this point, did not have the energy to even show you more than a quarter of this library, but I just shot enough footage to show you the mix of classic architecture and also very modern architecture it has. So there's also a whole bunch of different hubs. There's technology centers and children's areas. So it's a great resource. It also just has some artwork hanging up too, and it allows you to borrow books. So if you're a local there and you're a member of the library, you can just use it as your local library. Then I got a mango fennel custard puff pastry, which was just average. I am home. It is 5 p.m. and I am thoroughly spent. So exhausted. I probably pushed myself a bit too far today, but yeah, my original plans just to go to the festival obviously fell through because just it wasn't the vibe that I was expecting. So then I went to the NGV, but that was just bonkers. It was people, walls and walls of people. So I joined the protest, and then the people I was standing next to, a group of men, they started fighting with some other men that walked over to them and got swarmed by like 20 police officers. And I was having to shoulder my way out of that. And I thought, okay, I am going to leave this protest now. And I went to the library, the state library, very briefly, as you saw. And then I decided to grab a pastry and just go home. I'm very tired and now I'm going to relax. And I probably will not go into the CBD on the weekend again. I think that was a mistake. It's too packed. There's too many people. But until next time, stay well, Star Child.